Okay, folks, we're getting close here. We are live on Facebook, so they got the glitch sorted out over there, and we're grateful to be back up on the air live here. And hi guys.
Hi,
Um,
good
Hi.
afternoon.
Hello
I,
from
I
Oakland.
I like the change of scenery and nice shirt, by the way.
Well, thank you.
It says
Oh, it's a first shirt.
all charged up.
Yeah.
That's our interviewee for today is Paul Nijssen. And just before we check in with right next to me in real live time,
Yeah.
Paul, how are you doing? David, Kirsten, how's it going?
I'm good. I'm getting a little hungry for lunch here, but I'm finishing up my coffee, so I can't complain.
Coffee, what?
Yeah, I know you're a tea drinker. You swear against coffee, but
I drink bio coffees in the winter time, and we're sort of getting into that deep winter. So I do maybe need to get some more of my bio coffee. I really love it.
yeah, I drink that stuff too. Paul, are you a coffee drinker?
I'm a strong peach coffee drinker. Yes. So we start with I almost say espresso style coffee in the morning, and then I'll leave it alone the whole day, and I come back in the afternoon and then take a sip so I can go in the evening further. But
Yeah, I just had a pizza earlier right before my gym workout, and I did want to ask you about your accent, if you don't mind telling us where you're from originally.
oh, I'm from the Netherlands.
Netherlands,
So I'm
okay.
East Coast. I'm from the Netherlands.
Okay, great.
And I grew up on the German border, 1 mile away from the German border, and lived there for 38 years. So yeah, I have a heavy accent, and
Oh,
I don't
okay.
get rid of it. Sorry.
Yeah, I love the bike riding over there in that part of the world. I spent some time in Germany and, riding around there. It's just such a beautiful area.
It is. But the Bay Area is also cool. I mean, it's beautiful over here. However, I skipped the bike ride now because it's, people drive like crazy people.
Yeah,
So
I don't really ride my bike around here that often.
whenever I'm back home, I take most of the time my friend's bikes around town and drive to the downtown. So yeah, it's cool.
Okay. Yeah, well, I actually am excited to meet you. I know I see here that you're in the Connect to Success chapter, so I'm looking forward to coming and visiting, and we're excited to talk more about your business. I haven't actually come across your classification in B&I too. Sorry to be a little bit B&I technical, but is EV charging expert is what I called you. But if you don't mind telling us a little bit about you and what you do.
Yeah, EV charging expert or EV ambassador. I mean, I jumped on this 11 years ago, actually. I never gave in my past life anything about cars till I visited with a whole group of people at Tesla. They were still startup in San Carlos in 2007, and they had the 2 Roadsters, and I came back home and I said, that's the car I want. However, I never thought about the height. I mean, I have clients actually now who said, hey, Paul, move the car, test the car, and I barely fit in that car. So skip the Tesla Roadster for me. I need to have a little bit headspace for a 6'2" guy. So, but yeah, I rolled into it, and I do it now for 11 years pretty much. So yeah.
And the world is catching up with Paul, because now in the state of California, it's coming that it's not going to be an option. It's going to be like a supported illusion of choice that we have to get electric vehicles going forward. Did you see that news, David?
Yeah, it's either electric or go to jail.
Oh, no, that's not how you need to see it. I mean, Jerry Brown even had a summit with the Dutchies 7 years ago, and that whole what Kevin Newsom signed, our governor, was already paved for him. And I think it's now 18 or 20 states who followed up with that and stayed with California. California makes most of the time all the rules, and carbon emission was always a big thing here in California. but I think Washington State even cut earlier off the car sales from regular combustion engines. So yeah, I'm lucky, 11 years ago, everybody said I was the crazy guy who does EVs. And I stopped doing remodelings with as an electrical contractor, and just now it's just jackpot.
So
But I don't see it as jackpot because I just love driving, how do you say, in clean environment. I mean, it's like when we had COVID and the planes were not flying, the air was so clean, and we want that back. And if I'm that a little part of that is, then that's fine. That's fine for me, because I hope that I can. I focus mainly on charging at home, so not fast charges, but I'm mainly focused at home so that everybody can charge up at home and drive away in the morning, even precondition your car without running that engine for 5 minutes.
wow.
So that's the cool thing. And I mean, I just drove up here with my new, I must say, almost say toy. I tried to get a Ford Transit electric already for a while, and I did a site visit in the North Bay and found that thing on the lot. I saw so many.
This is electric. This
is full electric car.
There's a van right here. We'll show you in a moment.
It drives
it's
100
electric.
miles, around 100 miles if it's full load. Then it's 100 miles drive, and I need to still. It's brand new, so I need to put the advertisement on. I still need to put everything inside. It will take a couple of weeks. I have input from my team to see how they want to deal with the clean workspace in the car. So we're going to do that all.
Wow.
And just in a patience. So I think in 3-4 weeks, this thing will be on the road. And in the meantime, I have fun driving it. Even my wife said, let's go camping, because there's so much space in that car. You can just put in a,
Let's put some tower gardens in your vehicle. Bring them, show them off to the world.
Tower garden is possible too. So
yeah.
That is also one reason I have it with me, because I had a honeydew list where I needed to drive stuff around for my wife. So yeah,
nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
How, do you have a question, David?
Yeah, I did want to. I had a couple questions here, and feel free to jump in, Erica. But I think I'm in the position of a lot of folks where knowing that we would like to go electric at some point if we haven't. I'm still driving around an 03 Accord, which I still love, and it gets great gas mileage. It's not electric, but at least I can go down to LA or somewhere if I want. And I think as a second car, I'd love to look at getting an electric car. Actually, it'd be a third car. I have another BMW that I drive on the weekends. But I've read that you actually do need to have kind of a stepped up electric system to be able to charge these cars. If you don't mind just telling us what the kind of equipment is that you need at home in order to get like a quick charge, or maybe there's kind of a cheaper version where it needs to be charged overnight. But I've heard the difference in the rapid charging versus the
and I don't know how your podcast works later on. I can give you an article where it spreads. I did it for the CEC already, the California Energy Commission, and a little PDF where, what is level 1? Level 1 is a 110 receptacle. You charge up your car and it goes 3 miles an hour. Then you have level 2 that goes up depending on your breaker size, but most breakers don't go over 60 amp. You can charge with 48 amp. If your car can handle that, then you can charge up to, say, 44 miles an hour. Do you need it? No, you don't need it. Because I always say, what is available at your house, in your residence? What do you have? And, before I go throw a load management box in, what costs quickly $1,300 with the labor costs, why don't you, I try to convince people always, why don't we try to charge a little bit slower? And then if you charge a little bit slower, you get there too. But people have that mindset that I need to be fast. It doesn't need to be fast. And even if I come sometimes to clients where it doesn't make sense that I do the installation because the garage is on the other side of the property kind of thing. And it costs, then I call, say, $6,000 to $8,000. Then I always ask, how much do you drive a day? And, you know, sometimes I hear 10 miles, 30 miles, but I go to the grandkids in the weekend. I said, but that's fine that you go to the grandkids in the weekend. I let them stick with a level 1 charger and not ask me to come over. I said, for that money, what I need to do for you, you can go on a very nice vacation. So please don't bother me because it doesn't make sense.
So it's like, it's okay, level 1 is acceptable.
It's acceptable.
And it will get you where you need to go.
Yeah, and it's especially the plug-in hybrids. The plug-in hybrids has a smaller charge anyway, a smaller onboard charger. So don't go there if you don't need to.
Mhm.
There's a step. There's always a step in between. You need to. It's like you having that Honda Accord. You need to justify: is it the right time for you to switch to an electric car? Yeah, I cannot watch in your wallet. I mean, of course, it's nice to drive clean, but you know, there's a whole step up. We can talk about it in a sec because we still need to go to level 3. Level 3 are the fast chargers. And that's where we always say, Tesla says superchargers, but you have Electrify America, you have EVgo, you have also different brands.
That's out like commercially available. At
Commercially,
like Whole
yeah.
Foods, they have the,
Yes,
they have
yeah,
that. Uh-huh.
yeah, and that's pretty much 600 volt what they push in that car. It's like if you put an with a newer installation, is if you put the energy from a skyscraper into your car, you just push it through that little hose and get it into that car in just half an hour. It is, yeah, and the technology is going fast and fast, and everybody wants to go fast. We're going to get even electric airplanes for the shorter distance.
Wow, that'd be cool.
Now I hear this week electric boats have a problem because at the docks they don't have how you say, the electric hookups, so they need to pull them first out to put them back in the water. So a lot of things to do. I think everybody wants to go fast. And
yeah, do you think in our lifetime we'll be able to drive an electric plane as like a private pilot? Have you seen any of the research on that?
Actually, I must say, and that's the funny part, is that I sit next to Erica about this whole situation and use, you know, the ice shaker stuff. I was in the Netherlands last week, last year, with a group of people where I Zoom with, and they are architects and structural planners and all kinds of nerds. And we have somebody who is building an electric plane.
Really?
Yeah, there's several. There's several here in the US. There's Yobi, actually, was going to be more like a drone. It's in say, Santa Cruz area. But it's going so fast with all that stuff, what is great. And yeah, what can I say? I mean, I can talk for hours. So, and we have only 25 minutes.
Yeah, so we have
no, I that's a little hobby of mine. I would fly the Cessnas, and I see kind of the ads about those planes, and I know a lot of people don't realize, like, if you get in one of those, you still got to know how to fly with all the wind patterns. But I do see like the drones, you know, be way more stable and, you know, a little bit easier to fly. So I'm curious where that goes in terms of.
So there was a lightweight plane, but my weight was 280 pounds, and it could be only 250 pounds to sit next to the pilot. So I didn't soon. So I didn't fly in it, but my friends who I Zoom with flew in it, and she said it was just incredible. It's like driving an electric car. It's silence, pretty much.
Wow, that's amazing.
So that's where it's going for the shorter distance. And I think especially in the US here, I think the government's office want to start a pilot between Silicon Valley and the Central Valley, if they can get more commuters that way to the Bay Area instead of going at 3 o'clock at night, coming from Modesto, going to, the Bay Area to work, that
Wow.
kind of thing. So
So,
it's
so
going to be exciting.
it's very exciting. How has your business grown in the past during the pandemic and before the pandemic? Like what is happening? What percent has it grown, would you say?
Well, I need to have more hands to help me install. That's the biggest problem for me. But we didn't, with COVID, it was sort of like, oh, we can go nowhere. We have money. Let's buy an electric car. I mean, the first month I had a little bit of a dip when COVID hit, but we moved just nicely through.
Wow.
I mean, it was less than with an election, actually. With the election, we had a really dip where,
Oh,
for 2 months we had nothing.
Oh, really?
But when COVID hit, it was a complete different thing. Everybody started finally believing, but it's also like, if I go out with my wife and I come home at night with an Uber or Lyft, I like these people. If they drive perfectly, I sometimes give them the keys and I say, drive my Tesla. And they are flabbergasted if I let them do that. That's the only way how you can get people
Excited
about it. Even my personnel drives my car sometimes, just to give them the feeling what it is.
It's a spaceship.
Yeah.
It's a really interesting spaceship that karaoke is possible in the
And you can do karaoke also. You can also do karaoke.
I saw in the Tesla they have the karaoke.
Mhm.
So for people tuning in who are kind of newer to this whole concept, what do you want them to know before we wrap up for today?
Well,
just to like,
don't be. I know everybody wants to be impulsive and buy. That's what I did actually with this fan too. But I knew I wanted this fan, so that was not I don't have, and I have charging capability at my house and at my office, so I don't see that problem. But people need to see there is a lot of favor coming on the market right now, and the next coming years, and there's a whole second-hand market coming on too. So that's the great news for the people who cannot afford now, can afford it later on. Plus, if the chip shortage is gone, we don't have that problem anymore that they raise their prices from cars. So that will come quickly down the price. So maybe check out what are you capable for to charge your car at home? Because
look at your electric area.
But also where park your car, because
Paul is a former electrician who got into this whole thing with charging stations. So
curbside is still a big problem. As soon as you come on the curbside
at a
and on the sidewalk, you have a problem because you hit the county and you need an encroachment plan, and it's very difficult to get. And I don't like to work without permits. Get a permit, people, because one thing, look at it as your travel insurance or your health insurance, that if an electrician comes and wants to do it without a permit, if something happens with your installation and your house gets on fire or something like that, you're screwed because you don't have a house. And that person is or bankrupt if he's a sole proprietor.
So you want to do it kosher?
Yes, get a permit, even if it costs $700.
Go for the permit. Okay.
Yeah.
And how busy are you on a scale of 0 to 10 these days?
10.
He's at a 10, folks. So what does that mean? How many people are on your team?
So I have 2 full-time outside, and then I have 2 part-timers outside. Then I am that guy who can be the boss, but also is outside
on the field,
in the field,
doing the work.
And I know clients get sometimes annoyed that they need to wait several days before they get a quote, but it is what it is because
you're that busy.
Certain things I need to be there. Next, one thing more I want to say before you're going to close this. There are incentives. So go for a clean cars for all or something. Of course, I will.
That's the California thing?
That's a California thing, but also there's so many incentives, and not only for electric cars. So
solar.
we're talking about solar, heat pumps, even electric ovens
Oh, yeah.
or induction to cooktop. There are incentives right now on that deal from the Biden administration. So take what you can. That's what I say. A lot of people don't know that, but a lot of incentives.
So cool. Well, I'm so glad that you are connecting with all of the, solar people in
Mhm.
our organization. BNI is a great, that's a no-brainer for
Mhm.
all the electricians and all the solar people to know Paul. But if you're someone who's tuning in to Ripple Effect today, just think, who do you know that is going to the next step? Maybe Paul Nijssen is the way to go for your EV charge station. Your charge station that,
If you live in the Bay Area, yes.
heck yes,
If you live outside the Bay Area, we're happy to give you a
referrals.
referral. Even in the South Bay, we will give referrals. But yeah,
What right on?
yeah, because
The
that's
future
enough.
is bright.
Because I cannot do it by my own, and I know that luckily there are electricians who are switching right now. So there is so much work to do to get there to 2035.
Good to hear, and I'm glad. Good work to Erica for finding you, and I got to come visit your chapter. I see that you're actually the president of that chapter, so sorry if I
Yes, they're
mistitled you there.
They're going through their fun phase. They're in the part 2 of the reboot phase. So in 5 weeks, they will be unfurled upon themselves. But it's a really great group. They've just had a merging of 2 different groups to come be part of Connect to Success. So we're excited for them and their growth.
Yeah, and we will put the link to your chapter if people want to come visit your chapter. They're a small business owner, maybe want to hear more about your business. To visit
That
you
would be
there.
great. Yeah, Thursday mornings, 7
Thursday
o'clock.
mornings
And we are hybrid, so they can even do it online
on Zoom.
on Zoom.
And the first Thursday of the month is in person at the Berkeley Yacht Club.
And then you also, Erica, your support director consultant for that chapter. Is that correct?
Yes, if they'll have me, I'm theirs.
Okay, good.
But
Well,
she's a busy woman, So I mean, I know that you guys have the Wednesday
Yes.
morning. So
yes, I'm giving my
come visit. I know there's probably some folks who'd love to meet you. I know you're pretty busy guy as well too with your stuff, but I find there's a real synergy between the Bay Area chapters in the East Bay, if we all know each other,
But even going north, that's a nice thing about BNI. I know we go a little bit off the thing, is that you don't need to be at your own chapter. And that's a nice thing about BNI, where I got somebody from marketing. She was subbing actually for somebody in our chapter. And she does my marketing now, my social media marketing. Through her, I got a complete different CPA actually, because I needed to clean up my books. I was not happy with my bookkeeper and I was not happy with my CPA. I switched to a group of people in Silicon Valley. And then now for my car wrapping, I'm going to Santa Rosa. Plus, I'm connected in Santa Rosa already with somebody who has a nonprofit organization who helps high school students to get a trade job instead of going to college.
It's all connected.
So that's a nice thing about BNI. It's give and gain. It's
givers gain, givers gain.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir here. So.
Yep.
Yeah. So David, thank you so much for letting us be creative with our interview today. It's so fun to have the interviewee show up at my door and say, okay, let's do this thing.
Yeah, let's sit outside.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Let's do that again sometime. And
absolutely.
Great to hear from you, Paul. And we'll look forward to maybe having you back at some point too, if you're up for it next year sometime.
Oh, sounds good. Sounds good. Because a lot of things are changing. What I really have in mind is, especially people in the HOA where the costs are much higher.
Apartment buildings.
To install.
Yeah.
There are also HOAs where you have only a carport. And you need to come up with ideas. And I'm talking now to, well, the guy is such a nerd, but he just did a Taco Bell in South San Francisco with solar solar rooftop, batteries, storage, and DC fast charges. Now you can do that with level 2 charges at homes, and so that you don't hit the grid too much from PG&E, because we can't. I mean, people think the grid, oh, it is dangerous. How do you say? There's not enough energy. There is enough energy if we do it in a smart way. And that's like the lead buildings where they have demand response, that if it's getting too hot, the air conditioning and the lights go on the lower step. That's what they do also with charging stations if you are in an, how do you say, public space. But if you have a canopy where you can park underneath, and you have batteries on the side, and say get a little bit extra from PG&E, a smaller connection from PG&E, so then you can help a lot of people. And again, the incentives are there, so now people need to use it.
Yeah, and do you have information on that on your website? Or I mean, for example, if you're upgrading your house, are there incentives for that in addition to buying a car?
I don't have that on my website, but if people are interested, I can give it a link. And maybe
you can get that info to us so we can put it out there in the chat after the fact.
Okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, and I'm a big supporter of really building this grill dip strong enough too in all ways. So I think, for example, you could travel out of town if you had a Taco Bell that has those fast charging, so that's kind of a big barrier, I think, for policymakers to get into that, net zero, is the infrastructure. We got to really start building up that infrastructure now. So
yeah, well, I drive with my, and I have an oldie Tesla, so my fast charge is not going fast, but I drive with my car to LA if I need to, and it is doable.
Okay.
It is just a mindset of people, but I learned in Europe always that I need to stop every 2 hours to stretch my legs, and so there's no excuse, I think, not to think about it. The only thing what I have till Tesla opens their infrastructure to other brands, what they did in Europe, if that's going to happen on the end of the year, I hope it's still going to happen on the end of the year, then we will see a game changer, because then I say now to people, if you drive every month through LA, get a Tesla, because the other infrastructure is not there yet. Tesla has, during COVID, paved the big highways with a lot of charging stations. So, but the other ones, if they are allowed to charge on their Tesla's network,
it's coming soon,
because they are reliable. That's it. I mean, they are very reliable. They have teams around, rolling around, making sure that all the charging stations are working.
Cool.
Interesting. Yeah. Well, I'd love to talk more. We'll have to do a one-to-one at some point, and be glad to refer you and help each other, so to speak. So I look forward to coming to visit your chapter too as well.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Just give me a holler.
Come to the big date is December, whatever that first date is. December 8th.
Okay. Yeah,
Big
in person.
Yeah.
Put that down. Okay. Well, good. Well, I'm going to close out here. We're at time. So
well, thank you for having me. Actually, I was happy to talk. I mean, I can talk for hours.
Yes, we
so
see
don't get
that.
me, so that can don't get me wrong. Especially, if you get me back on, let's see if we can talk about specialties or something, especially HOA buildings.
Yeah,
okay.
Let's do it.
That we're gonna end it here, and we'll talk soon.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.